Hey there, everybody. My name is Melissa Hall. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Commonwealth here in Lexington, Kentucky. Coming to you today with Real Estate Investing 101, helping you to build wealth through smart property decisions. I'm excited to walk through the fundamentals of real estate investing today, and we're going to cover the main ways that investors make money on real estate, plus what you should be looking for in your first property. So let's dive in. So, just a quick introduction about who I am. Again, I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Kentucky since 2013 with 10 plus years of experience helping buyers and sellers. I have a personal background in real estate investing and helping first time investors look for that perfect first property. I have a passion for teaching and simplifying real estate for beginners. And I also I love helping people reach their real estate goals. So why does this matter? Um, so I have firsthand um, experience on the challenges new investors face and how to avoid costly mistakes. My role is really to bridge the gap between confusing real estate jargon and practical beginner friendly strategies. I understand the local market and what it takes to make a property succeed in the investment market here in central Kentucky. Okay. So, why real estate? Let's talk about why real estate stands out as an investment. First, it's a tangible asset. You can see it, touch it, and even improve it, and unlike stocks and bonds that exist on paper. Second, it's historically more stable. While the stock markets can swing wildly from day to day, real estate values usually are much more gradual, and here in Kentucky specifically, we're very insulated from the huge swings that other states may see. And third, real estate offers multiple streams of wealth building opportunities. So you have rental income, appreciation, and tax benefits, which we will talk about it more in depth. Most investments you only pay you one way, and real estate pays you three. You also have the power of leverage with relatively small down payment. You control a much larger asset, and all the appreciation and equity growth happens on the value of the property, not just the cash you invested. Finally, real estate is just a proven generational wealth builder. Properties can provide income for you now and assets you can pass down to your family later. So, as I stated, the three wealth builders in investment property are rental income, appreciation, and tax benefits. These are the three pillars on how investors make money. So, I'm going to take a moment and just break down each one and further explain each pillar. Okay, so first up is rental income. Rental income is the foundation of real estate investing. Think about it like this: your tenants are essentially helping you build wealth by paying your mortgage every month. When rent exceeds your monthly expenses, you create positive cash flow. That money in your pocket each month. So, on top of building wealth in the property, you're also getting that little kickback of equity and positive cash flow. Unlike stocks where you may wait for years before cashing them out. Rental income is predictable and comes in every month. So, what's powerful is that income stream can scale. You start with one property, let your tenants pay it down while you pocket some cash flow, and then you use that equity and your income to buy the next property. Over time, this snowballs into multiple income streams. Rental income also gives you protection against inflation. As I'd mentioned before, as the cost of living rises, so do rents, which mean the investments keep pace and often outpace inflation. That's why investors say rental income is the most reliable pathway to financial freedom. Okay, now we're going to look at appreciation. Appreciation is one of the most powerful components of real estate investing. It's where your wealth grows passively and often significantly. Historically, US home prices have averaged about 4.27 annually over the long term, but recent years have shown exceptional growth, outpacing that up to 8 to 9% above what's normal. The advantage of leverage amplifies these gains. Putting down a fraction of the purchase price lets you benefit on appreciation of the full value. Plus, you accelerate value through forced appreciation, simple upgrades like kitchens, curb appeal, or other improvements that deliver immediate value increases. Remember, appreciation stacks on top of your mortgage payment. This compounds everything and can build substantial equity over time. Over the past 5 years, cumulative gains in markets across the nation have shown about 55%, which I have personally experienced myself on my personal property. So, another thing we're going to take a look at are tax benefits. It's a huge reason people invest in real estate. Wealthy people invest in real estate because of the tax advantages. First, there's the mortgage interest deduction. A large chunk of your mortgage payment goes to interest, and that can usually be deducted from your taxable rental income. Second, depreciation is a major benefit. The IRS allows you to treat your property as if it wears out over 27.5 years, even if it's actually increasing in value. This creates a paper loss that reduces your taxable income, even though you may be having a positive cash flow. Next, your write off expenses like repairs, insurance, property management fees. All those things add up and can come off as write off expenses. Even the mileage and travel costs, if you're checking on your property, can also be a write off on your taxes. When it comes time to sell, you can benefit from lower long term capital gains taxes. And that with a 1031 exchange can roll your profits into investment property and can actually defer the capital gains tax altogether. So finally, depending on your income level and tax bracket, some investors can use rental losses to offset other incomes. This is why so many real estate people use this as part of their long-term wealth and retirement planning. Of course, I'm not a CPA, and I always recommend you talk with a tax professional, but it's important to know that these benefits exist, and they make a huge difference in your overall tax return year to year. All right, so now that we've kind of hit some initial bases of why real estate is important, now let's look at what you want to look for in your first property. So, location, location, location. You need to think about the proximity to jobs and schools, shopping and transit. You want to make sure there's low vacancy rates and steady rental demands in the area that you're looking in. Just think like college towns. College towns always need student housing. Safer neighborhoods attract better quality tenants. So, those are things to keep in mind. With that, a safe, desirable neighborhood is always going to will more often attract a longer term tenants. A second, always run the numbers, do a cash flow analysis, and always remember the 1% rule as a quick check. So, your monthly rent should equal about 1% of your purchase price. So if you're buying a $150,000 house, it should rent for at least $1,500 a month. But don't stop there. Factor in all of your expenses, your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your management fees, and a reserve for repairs and, for vacancies that it can occur. Third, you've got to check the property's condition. A fixer-up may look cheap, but a roof or HVAC can wipe out years of profit. So cosmetic upgrades, on the other hand, can increase your rental value without breaking the bank, but always get an inspection and know what you're going into. Fourth up, explore your financing options. Investors usually need a larger down payment, typically between 15 to 25%, and the loan type and interest rate you qualify for can definitely have an effect on your cash flow. So you need to know those things before you start shopping. Finally, what's your exit strategy? Is this a long-term rental, a short-term Airbnb, a property you'll eventually sell? Even if you plan to hold on to it, make sure it's in a location that has resale potential. You don't want to end up with a property that you're going to take a loss on at the end. So having an exit strategy keeps you flexible and protected. So always know your exit before you enter into the property's agreement. So here's an example breakdown of how the numbers work. We're just basing this on a purchase price of $150,000 with a monthly rent of $1,500. After your mortgage, with taxes and insurance excluded, your property management fees, your maintenance and reserves, and your vacancy allowance, your total monthly expense is $1,400. That creates a net cash flow of $100 per month or $1,200 per year. But let's not stop there. So there's more to your cash flow than that. Your tenant's paying down your loan. So let's add an additional $1,800 in equity for a year. If your home appreciates at 4% annually, and that is a safe value, let's add another $6,000 in added value each year. Plus, you can deduct expenses and depreciate you save anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 on taxes. So just in your first year, you're not pocketing just your positive cash flow of $1,200. You're building $10,000 or more in total wealth, and that compounds year after year. So that's exciting, right? All right, so let's look at things that we need to avoid to make sure that this is a success. So one of the most valuable lessons I can give you is to avoid the common first time mistakes. And the biggest one is underestimating expenses. Um, so expenses, you can assume that people assume that rent minus mortgage equals profit, but they forget about repairs, vacancies, management costs. Always budget extra. Second, don't buy with emotion. This isn't your dream home, it's an investment. The numbers have to make sense or you'll regret it later. Remember the 1% rule. Third up, don't skip your inspections or due diligence, overlooking hidden issues like foundation problems or pest damage, not checking rental demands and comparable rents, or rushing the process to get it quickly can all be things that can really break you in the end and create a situation where you're not making any money. Fourth, not having a reserve fund. So vacancies and repairs are guaranteed, and a cushion of 3 to 6 months of expenses will keep you safe. Number five, be careful not to over leverage. More properties aren't always better if the cash flow isn't strong enough to cover the risk. So don't take on too much debt without the cash flow. Anything like high vacancies or interest rate spikes can quickly lead to losses. And lastly, screen your tenants carefully. A well-qualified tenant can make your experience smooth, but the wrong tenant can cost you thousands. So take the time up front to protect your investment and make sure you're getting good quality tenants. Okay, so what are your first steps? I always say get pre-approved for financing, whether we're investing or just buying your dream home. Um, you want to know your budget, you want to know how much you can afford, and I think that's just a non-negotiable for me. Number two is set a budget and a strategy. So after you know how much you can afford, you need to set a budget with that and see what this looks like for you going down the road. And also set a strategy, as in meaning, what kind of rental is this going to be? And what's your exit strategy? What is your long-term goal with this property? Number three, analyze and practice deals. And what I mean by that is analyze a few deals and practice running numbers using that 1% rule, and using all of the different things that I've told you about to try to see, okay, let me practice, let me write this out, let me play it forward and see what it looks like so that I can be sure that I'm making smart decisions. And number four, start small and scale. It's about a building experience and not rushing to scale too quickly. So the best way is slow and steady, making wise decisions, not fast decisions. So who's ready to get started? I would love to schedule a one-on-one consult with you. We can meet up in my office, at your home, at a coffee shop, wherever is best for you, and just kind of talk over options and where you're at and how we can get you started on this journey. Join my mailing list for deal alerts. I always get deals coming through, and I'd love to be able to send them to you first so that you know what's coming on the market and you're ready to evaluate those properties. Also, follow me on Instagram and Facebook so we can stay connected and I can help you. I always am posting tips and tricks, and I would love to be able to connect with you there as well. So if you have any questions, just reach out to me. And I want to thank you guys so much if you made it this far. Thanks for sticking with me. These things aren't easy for me. It doesn't come natural, but I just love the opportunity to connect with potential clients. And I'd love the opportunity to talk with you and see how I can help you reach your real estate goals. So reach out to me. And you guys have a great day. Until next time. Bye-bye.